Well, hello everyone and welcome to Steve Plays City Skylines, and this is episode 5 of my Swensdale build. So, as you can see, I've bought this tile so that I can start to develop the specialised industries rather than the sort of just generic stuff. I have access to fertile land here, there's some forest here, and although I'd probably have to take, well, I would have to take this tile here, there's oil down here, so I can, you know, just in this one area, if the transportation can take it, I can do a lot of interesting stuff. So before we start, I just tried playing around with sort of road configurations, sort of off camera, and I was moving these trees. You know by now, if you've been watching the videos, I have a thing about transplanting trees rather than just chopping them down or building over them, which is even worse because it basically keeps the trees active as far as the tree count's concerned. So what I was doing was I used MoveIT and I did a marquee. Oops, I did a marquee. And then what I did was I dragged them, I just sort of dumped them over here and dragged them through this fertile land. And in fact, what I'll do, I'll show you what happens, and then I'll reload the game and start again. So this is fertile land, this lighter coloured stuff. In fact, I'll show you. There we go. So some of, you know, so the greeny sort of shade is fertile land. So let's. I've got these selected. So let's do what I did. So I just grabbed hold of one to select the lot, and then I just dragged it over there. And look what it's done. It's just basically just as if it's painted the underlying, I don't know what you want to call it, soil state over the area that I've dragged. And if I go into, it's actually painted it as forestry. Okay, not a problem, you may say, because you can use Shift Z to undo or move it. I think it's Shift Z, bear with me. No, Control Z. There we go. So it's moved the trees back, but it's not undone the damage, as it were, that it's done to the soil. And I'll just show you. So it's still showing that as forestry. Okay. I thought to myself, all is not lost, because I've got, in fact I'll show you the mod, I've got, where is it, extra landscaping tools, and this gives you, although I'm not going to, I won't be using it because I think it's a bit cheaty, but you can paint in natural resources. So I thought, okay, well this isn't cheating, this is just sort of undoing the damage that the MoveIT's done. And what you do is, so I'll just do that again. So there's your ground resources tool. So you click on that and you can select 3 different types of resources. So you've got ore or oil, or in this case fertile land. Pick a brush size, and what you do is you hold down the left mouse button, and I assure you I am holding down the left mouse button. And did you see above, just where it says Florence Sector? Let me show you it working. You can see that it's painting in. Fine, so you can see it's working. But not where that forestry was. And as far as I know, there isn't a way to there's no sort of, none of these, I don't think, undo it, sort of. So basically, I couldn't even delete the forestry that it's kind of shoved over. So basically I wrecked my farming doing that. So what I'm going to do is what I'll have to do in MoveIT is basically, if I want to get them over here, I'll have to take them on some sort of circuitous route, which I seriously can't be asked. But what I'll do is I'm just going to just drag them up here, just to you know, just to get them out of the way, because what I want to do is, that was fertile, you'll see when I reload, sort of to there. What I'm going to do is I'm going to bring a road around here. I'm going to put some housing in this kind of area bordering this little river, and do that to service the industry that I'm going to be putting in around the farming initially, and then the forestry once I've got the farming up and running. And I want them to be close to their place of work. Of course, it's sod's law with this game that they'll all start wanting to commute to these shops over here, and people over here will want to come over here, but you know, hey, whatever. So what I'll do is I'll just sort of pause the recording, reload the game. I'm going to put a basic road layout in, so I'm not mucking around on camera, and then I'll start with putting in the housing and setting up this as a farming sector and putting in my first farming building. So just bear with me, I'll reload and I'll come back to you in just a sec. Okay, so we're back. So what I've done, I've just got this set up. So I've put normal roads in. Maybe I should have used the dirt road type things, but I'm going to use those for the access roads to the fields, which are going to start sprouting off here. I've put this in ready for my housing. I've expanded the industrial because this is where the I'm going to put the sort of specialised industrial stuff in. I've also brought my little sort of cycle highway across the river, so that if people want to go to the shops, fine, they can get on the bike and do that, because they're only just there, for God's sake. So let's start. So first things first, we're in farming. We need to put in the main building, and I'm going to put it in there because it's not quite as fertile, so it's not wasting good ground sort of thing. So I'll pop it in like that, and there we go. So now what you'll notice is that this was, I can't remember what it was called, but Florence Fields, possibly, I don't know. And then as soon as you put a farming building in, it changes the district name to something a little bit more sort of agricultural. So that's that in, and so now I've got that, I can start to put in some fields. So I want that lined up there. And then let's just see how many. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I think that'll do it. Ah, no, I wanted that to be a dirt road. Never mind. Let's just see if it fits before I start demolishing that. Where are we? Industry. No, it don't fit. What have I done? 1, 2, 3. Okay, so it's not big enough anyway. So let's bulldoze that. Let's pick the right road, which is that. Is it 8? 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, so it's 8. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That should do it. Yes. Right, so now we know that road's right. Let's extend that out. And what I'm going to do, these are going to be on the road. So I'm with the farming. You have appearance, and that's all it is. It's just eye candy. It makes no difference to what gets produced. What you also have, so I've put those two greenhouses. Just I don't know, just because I think it's an interesting look when you're driving along. What you also have is as far as like, you know, growing stuff as well as crops, you have fruit fields. It doesn't matter what you put down, they all produce crops. So as you can see from the text where it says small fruit field, all extractor variations produce farming raw materials, crops. So it doesn't matter what you put, it still produces the same thing. So that's the sort of the basic production thing. So they're both set. What I'm going to do, and I'll pause this and do this sort of off camera. I want to put in more, but if you plot them in all at once, what happens is they all start growing at the same time. They all then produce at the same time, so there's basically a big lag where nothing's happening, and anything that consumes these is wanting raw materials and ends up buying it in from outside. And then they suddenly all kind of release their products at once. So then all the roads get congested with a load of tractors and vans and stuff. Possibly overloading if you've got enough of them, possibly overloading your storage. And then the whole cycle starts again with basically a sort of a very lean period as far as the consuming buildings are concerned, and then a glut when they all come through at once. So what I want to do, when I say I'll do this off camera because it's just going to be a bit dull waiting for things to happen, is I'm going to let these two get to say 25% of their capacity, then put in another two, and so on and so on. And so I'm going to end up with basically 4 pairs, all producing, hopefully, if I get this right, all producing at a different time, and so it should smooth the output. It is my theory. I don't know. Let's see. So I've put those two in. That's fine. Now I want to put in the I need to get some power down here as well. These power lines should only be temporary, just until my housing fills up, and basically I've got the power line here. These houses should pick up the power, and then eventually sort of get it over here. But just for now, I can't do that. It's in the middle of a road. Let's put a rather ugly power line straight through the farmer's back garden. So okay, so that's all connected. So housing. What I want to try the European suburbia. Now you may recall in an earlier episode I said that I'd tried it over here in Cedar Point, but because I did this curved layout, which I really like, incidentally. But because it's on a curve, all the plots, there's no parallel plots, if you like. They're all slightly off, sort of curved off from each other. And the European assets are very much so. You see this one. This has got hedges all the way around. The European assets would be basically like that at the front, hedge at the side, hedge at the back, and then there's a gap there. And I think that they're designed so that another similar one that's butted up right against it would share this hedge. So basically, let's have a see. Let me think about this. Yeah, so that's open. That's closed. So then the next one that you put, its closed one forms the sort of joint boundary there, and so it all ends up as, when you get a whole row of them, it all looks nice. But when I tried it in this layout, it just looked weird because they were just like these open sides, and it just wasn't right. So now I've deliberately done this with some straights, so hopefully I can get the Euro look working properly. So what I'm going to have to do is create a district. So let's go like this. Maybe I've used a bit of a big brush. Let's just go with that for now. A little bit further. I'm not sure about Franklin Square, but I'll come to that. Let's go for a slightly smaller brush, so I've got a bit more control here. I want housing around there. Ugh, done it the wrong way. Duh. hopefully that'll, yeah, so that's all part of what at the moment is Franklin Square. I need to think of a name for that. But what I'll now do is basically just blob in whole areas. And before that develops, actually, I need to set the style to European suburbia. Fine. And I want to give them smoke detectors. I think that was all I did on that tab. And I want to encourage biking. And I think that was it. Let me just have a look at Cedar Point. Yeah, just the smoke detector. So that's exactly the same that I'm using everywhere else, just for the moment. I might add other policies later. Right, okay, folks. So you can see what I'm trying to do. So what I'll do now is I'll just pause this, and I'm going to try to develop the agricultural fields in the manner that I said. So basically, have them staggered their production. So that they don't all sort of throw out their products all at once. And we'll just see how that goes. So I'll come back to you in a minute or two. Okay, so I've now got these pairs, basically, all in theory producing at different rates, different times, should I say. If that works, I don't know. So now I've done that, I need to, well, I don't need, but I will put in something that will start to consume these crops. Because what I need some animal products, and I need that because when I hit level 2, I'll be able to build, let's have a see, where is it? I'll be able to build, it's all be greyed out at the moment, but the bakery. I need animal products, crops and flour, so I'm going to need a flour mill as well, which also comes in at level 2 somewhere. I don't know whether that's... I don't think that's shown as comes in as a factory. I think it's in the main farming area. Yeah. So I'm going to put in my a couple of pasture fields up here. I'm not putting them close to this housing because, as you'll see in just a moment, they where is it? There. As you can see from the symbol, they they produce noise pollution. So I'm going to pop a couple in there, and I'll have that as sheep, and that I'll have Highland cows in there. Okay, fine. And then what I'll do is the flour mill, it has to be within the agricultural sort of zone, but it doesn't need to be on fertile land. So what I'll do with the flour mill, I'll extend, I'll make a sort of a loop here when it gets to that time, and put the flour mill on this road, but backing onto the main road. Maybe a couple of flour mills, actually, I don't know. But what I'll do is actually I'll just put a couple more fields in. I'll just let those just start off a little bit. I'll just put them in, and then put a couple more fields in, and then just basically let it go. So let's see where we are for leveling up. Well, I think with those two pastures, you see at the moment they're saying that they're not getting product, but they should very quickly start to pick up crops from my stores, so they should start producing. I should have enough workers when... See, at the moment they've not. They're only just starting up. I'll have enough workers to get to level 2, and then really it's just a case of waiting, just waiting for my farming to produce enough stuff, and then I'll get to level 2. So what I'll do is Oh yes, let's have a quick look at this housing. And it's actually, yes, okay, it's all a bit sort of gritty. But it's actually worked. It's, well, I know these maybe look a bit odd because they're obviously designed to be put in a box. Because some of them don't have hedges at the back. They're obviously designed to, say this one here is obviously designed to butt up against sort of something like this. But in general, I think that's looking good. I think that's as good as I'm going to get out of it. I mean, that's a bit... Having a double hedge is a bit... crap. And the way that it decided to build them, there was no need to put these little ones in. It could have... I'd made sure that there was enough space for like 4x4s all the way along, but the game has decided to just do it a different way. Fine, whatever. Right, so I'm going to just put one more set of fields in, and then I think that'll do me for fields for now. Pop that in there, pop that in there, and change it to... where are we up to? And I know the two separate fields, but it kind of looks like it's kind of like whole strips of, you know, I think that looks quite good. Maybe it looks a bit... Maybe I should have... Oh, I don't know. Anyway. Yeah, so now we're making animal products. Fine. Let's extend these roads. Have I got the right one selected? Yeah. Let's extend these out a bit more. And I don't know, I'll have to wait to level 2 to see how big the flour mill is, but I'm kind of thinking I'll take that off at that point. And then sort of put the flour mill in sort of like that. So let's I won't keep you hanging on while I just wait for the production to level up. I'll just pause for a moment, moment in your time anyway, and come back to it when we're ready to level up. Okay, so this is just to wrap this one up. Oh, stormy weather. Okay, so we've leveled up to level 2 in the farming, and you could probably, it's still nighttime, but if I sort of hover over, you can see I've actually put in quite a few more fields, because what was happening is I was having to import quite a bit of crops basically to service everything, and I wasn't happy with that. So I wanted to be sort of nice and sort of self-sufficient really. So I've done that. I'm just basically just now, because there's been a storm, I'm just making sure that I've not got a load of blinking power lights. No, it all seems okay. So I haven't had any power cables hit. That's great. Okay, so I have put in a flour mill, which is now ticking over quite nicely. And over here I've put in a bakery. And again, I think I've got things working quite nicely. So once it actually got going, it doesn't seem to have stopped because it's running out of everything. So the deliveries are coming along in time. So that's now, let's have a see. So that's making me just shy of 2,000 a week. I think that's a week. And the farming, well, the farming's making a decent profit, but some of that is because the flour mill's paying it. But in total, I'm getting what, 5,400 there, and another 1,600. So that's, oh gosh, oh no. Okay, so, and suddenly I'm making a loss again, but that seems to be the way farming goes. But I think net, a across the farming. Certainly here I'm definitely making a nice profit just on one bakery, and I think that will subsidise any temporary losses that I end up making, you know, just because of the way production seems to work. Yep, that's all working fine. Notice the pollution though. I need to just, I mean, I can't, I don't think I can take crops any further. The flour mill is a polluter, so it's one to bear in mind. It does, I think it creates noise pollution, but it also creates ground pollution. So yeah, there's just a word of warning there. So there we go. That'll do for now. Oh yes, I should point out, sorry. I've put in a couple more bus lines, which you can see now, because I had a look at the traffic distribution sort of thing, and I was noticing basically people coming in, making very long journeys, some of them walking a hell of a distance. You kind of think that, I mean, some of them were walking like from here all the way around the industrial estate and round to come to work, and you think, well, by the time you've done that, it's time to go home, surely. So I've put in 2 more lines. So let's right. So the first line is basically just a loop around, bringing people up to this town centre, dropping them off, and then coming back down this commercial strip. So it's just funneling people into my town square that's a circle. And then the other one is coming out of there. It's using this sort of service road that I put in for the industry park. I actually originally put that in for the garbage trucks, but actually it's turning out rather useful. I popped a stop in here, just for anyone who's coming to work on the industry side, and then it comes across and drops into the farm, the main farm building here, and then has to do this kind of fairly long loop around. I wonder if I'd put it there, it would have been better to sneak it back around here. But I could put a stop. How's this doing for workers? I'll check that. It might be worth putting a stop maybe here, perhaps, just to bring people over to the flour mill. But then again, it goes round and then sort of comes back through the industrial area, and I don't know why it didn't come down this one-way road here. It does this loop all around. I'll see if I can tweak that up. And then basically follows its path back and ends there. So I'll let them run and see how they go for a bit, but bearing in mind that this industry area is going to expand, and so will the farming, so I'm kind of thinking that I'm not going to just rip them up if they don't seem to be making a profit straight away. At the end of the day, this is all about trying to keep cars off the road, basically, so try to stop things clogging up. So there we go. There's my farming. Oh, now it temporarily run out of stuff, but it seems to have just about stocked up again. So that's my farming area. And in fact, what we'll do is a little treat. I'll give you a little bus tour. So, you know, there's a few people. So that's the main building that they're picking up from, and there are those greenhouses that I said would maybe look interesting by the road on the right. And so now it's going to do that sort of long loop around. I say maybe I can tweak that or put a stop in for the flour mill, which you can see over there to the right. You know, I love this. This is my kind of, you know, when people talk about their guilty pleasures. My guilty pleasure is taking a bus view of my city. How sad is that? What's your guilty pleasure? Taking a sim bus around my city. Anyway, the mountains look gorgeous, don't they? So over there to the right, you can see a couple of silos. So that's the small grain silos that I put up next to the animal pastures, just to give them a sort of a steady, hopefully, a steady source of raw materials, as it were, crops. And then here's the bridge going over to the industrial area, and I think I'll stop it there because, you know, there's only, not everybody's mad about watching buses go around. So there we go, and I'll leave it there, folks. So I hope you found some of it interesting or useful. If you liked it, give us a thumbs up. If you thought it was pants, give us a thumbs down. But a comment would be nice. What was wrong with it? That would be lovely. And if you're so inclined, please subscribe. It'd be nice to have you along. There should be a new video along soon. I know there was a bit of a gap. That was really down to the fact that the weather's just been so hot of late. It just wasn't conducive to recording with all the noise from outside because all the windows were open. But should be a new video along soon. That'll be expanding the farming further when it levels up a bit more, and or starting off forestry in this kind of area here, all plugging in again to this industrial area where I'll put sort of the farming, the forestry special buildings when they unlock. So until then, stay well, stay safe, and I look forward to seeing you soon. So this is Steve saying goodbye for now.